So first, let's start with a little background. I was a college freshman and I didn't have a lot of money, but I knew a good way to get some. By dealing. Nothing hard, just pot, but the kicker was the amount we were selling. It wasn't uncommon for us to get $1,000 pickups to distribute around campus in the city. Apparently, we weren't the only ones with the idea of selling big pickups, because one night, while my roommate and I were out getting some nice dinner, someone broke into our apartment and stole $500 worth of drugs. So the best idea that came to our minds is to go to our dealer and borrow a pound from him to move across town and try to make some of that money back. We call up a few people, and after a few different phone calls, we had a buyer. We go to the spot to meet the guy. It's a poorly lit street and there aren't any cars nearby. We see this old sedan round the corner and get ready to make the deal. And as they pull up, I start to get this bad feeling. But I ignored it because, well, we were broke and desperately needed the money. 3 guys get out, and they casually walk on over to us. "Hey, you the guys?" I asked. We looked at each other, and then one pulled out a gun and put it to my roommate's head. "Give us the drugs," they ordered. "I don't know what you're talking about," I tried to lie, but I could tell it was useless, as the one guy pulled down the hammer on the Glock. "I'll ask one more time. The drugs, now." I had no choice. I gave him the drugs, as it was better to be completely broke than dead. They took the pound and sped off, sparing both my roommate and I. I was glad to be alive, for now. Some would even call us lucky to have escaped with our lives, but now we owe a dealer $2,000, and that was easily killable money. We knew we were in some shit, and after a few calls from our dealer in the subsequent days, things started getting serious. He told us we had until the weekend to have the money or, well, you know the rest. My roommate knew a guy who could give us a few small shotguns, ones that we could keep around with us whenever we weren't exclusively on campus. And when we were on campus, they had to stay in our car. After weighing our choices, we figured we'd have to get the guy who set us up. Sounds crazy, but we didn't have much of a choice. Hell, I even accepted the fact that now I was never going to grow old, or even see the next year for that matter. It was around 3 a.m. We walked to the guy's house since it wasn't too far from our apartment. We've been in his house before and knew his garage door's lock was busted, so we tried as quietly as we could to lift it. It was one of the old manual garage doors that you just have to get your hands under to open. After we get into his house and search around for a while, we head up to his room and grab the money. I started to search his drawers when I found his money stash. I took $3,000, $2 to pay off the dealer, and another $1,000 for compensation. As we started leaving out the front door like a couple of amateurs, we hear the neighbor shout that she's calling the cops. I guess seeing 2 guys dressed in all black leaving a sketchy house with handfuls of cash isn't a normal sight. How could we have been so stupid? Luckily, either she didn't actually call after we sprinted off, or the officers didn't look very hard, because we never saw police actually coming for us. We called our dealer, and after paying him back, we decided we should stop working in the drug trade. Next time, we might not get a warning for lying during a robbery. I am with my friend Jack, and we decided to go pick up from a guy in the back of a parking lot at night. Jack has picked up from him before and trusts him. The dealer told us to meet him in this beat-up purple minivan, so we drive up in Jack's mom's Volvo, and after meeting him in the back of the parking lot, we get into his van and shut the doors. Nothing wrong with getting into a strange drug dealer's van, right? He had storage bins full of pot, and for $200 we got a few bags, but then he tells us he has to meet someone, and we're coming along. We didn't feel like picking a fight with this guy, so we go along with it. As he drives us over, I notice the guy he's selling to looks like a major meth head. After the dealer and him talk for a bit, they start arguing about how the deal is going down. It sounded like it was getting pretty heated, and that was when the meth head looks in the van and sees us. He looks at the dealer and curses and pulls out a fucking gun. The dealer shouts at him and pulls out a knife, and as we're sitting there in the van, I'm thinking, what the hell did Jack and I get ourselves into? We stay as quiet and as calm as we can in order to not make this guy tweak the hell out and shoot all 3 of us. After lots of screaming, the gunman hauls ass out of there, and the dealer comes back and tells us we need to get the hell out of there now. Never get into a drug dealer's beat-up van.